Hey, this is Eric, and today we're going to compare active versus passive pickups. So for the active portion of this test, we're going to use the Fishman Moderns in this Strandberg, and this guitar also has the ability to go from active and passive. So we're going to compare both sound options available on this particular guitar. And we're also going to add in another passive pickup to compare, which will be the Seymour Duncan JB loaded in this Kramer Nightswan. Now for the amp, we're going to play through the EVH 5153 50 watt 6L6 amp behind me. And we're going to have three different riffs that we're going to compare. One will be a clean riff. The next one will be a lightly distorted passage. And then the third one will be a full-on heavy passage, which will include an Ibanez TS9 tube screamer and a Boss NS2 noise suppressor in the loop. Now we're going to listen to each riff in a full mix, and then we'll listen to each guitar part isolated back to back. Now I'd also like to point out that I'm going to have the exact same amp setting so that you can have a good comparison between each riff, each pickup. Let's start off with the clean passages now. Now let's try this lightly distorted riff. Here we go. Now let's dive into that heavy section. And again, for this section, it's going to be each guitar plugged into an Ibanez TS9 tube screamer, into a Boss NS2 noise suppressor, and into the amp. All right, so we have all three riffs completed now. Let me know which sounds you like the best. Did you like the Fishman Actives? Did you like the Fishman Passives? Or did you like the Seymour Duncan Passive? I'd like to share a little bit of what I've learned in this process from a player's perspective. So with those clean sounds, one of the things I noticed about playing active pickups is it's very compressed. So you don't have to focus so much on how hard you're picking each note. Now, which sound did I prefer the best? You know, I really liked all of them. They all sounded great in their own respects, but I think that my favorite was probably the Fishman Passive. Now for the lightly distorted section, there again, this type of a sound setup with active versus passive, dynamics becomes a big question, and it really depends. Both of them, again, sound great, but it really depends on what you're trying to put across as a player? Do you want those dynamics, or are you looking for that compression? So if I had to choose one of them, I don't know, it's a dead draw. Let me know which one you like the best. Now for those heavy riffs. Now the riff also included the TS9 Tube Screamer, so it really kind of adds that compression also. So I really didn't notice the active pickups compressing the notes as much when you're using a boost. I used the same amp settings throughout all of the different riffs. So, and I did that on purpose so that you could hear exactly the differences that the pickups were doing without changing the EQ or even the gain structure on the amp head. So when it came around for this heavy riff, boy, I really liked the way that the JB worked with the EVH amp head. To me, it works amazing and sounded amazing. And with the Fishman, I didn't like it at all because it was really hot. I mean, it was really highly distorted, and I didn't really like the EQ, the way that it sounded. So that being said, if I were using the Fishmans with this EVH amp head, I would have dialed in completely different EQ settings, and I would have definitely adjusted the gain quite a bit, cutting it way back down, because the Fishmans do add more gain than the JB. So if I had to choose a favorite for the heavy distorted riff, it would definitely be the Seymour Duncan JB in this video. That being said, I do love the Fishman Fluence Moderns. They sound amazing, and with some different amp settings, some different gain settings, it could be really awesome. So hope that helps. Do me a favor, will ya? Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Click like and subscribe to the channel, will ya? And ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos.